Hello and good afternoon. This is Abigail Molina with Molina Law Group. I'm here just for a quick video to celebrate all of the good news that happened in Georgia over the last actually week of special elections there. Soy la abogada Abigail Molina de Molina Law Group, soy abogada de inmigración y estoy aquí hoy solo un ratito para platicar y celebrar lo que ha pasado en Georgia ayer y hoy. So thank you for joining me. If you're watching this late, you know that today is January 6th, and today was a very important day. Not usually an important day, but today is the day that the Electoral College votes were going to be delivered to the Congress, and then everything was going to be cleared up for Biden's inauguration on the 20th. And I came on here, I scheduled this video today to celebrate what's happened in Georgia, and we're going to talk about that briefly. But unfortunately today that joy is overshadowed by terrorists, I want to call them, violent protesters who have stormed the nation's capital, who are clearly unhappy with Biden taking office. So hopeful that control will be gained over the Capitol very soon, but it's scary. That is not something that we usually see in our country. I don't know that we've ever seen it. It looks to me, like a movie I've seen of other countries, coup attempts or whatnot. So hopefully this will be able to be taken care of quickly, but I think it is an indication of just the political unrest that we have in our country right now, the great divide that we have in our country right now. But I want to return to talking about Georgia. What happened in Georgia? I don't know if you're like me, but I never followed politics. I never understood how the government worked even until I went to law school and finally started learning about it. Didn't really even care to know about politics, honestly. I really wanted to stay away from politics. But just in the last, especially the last 4 years, I've seen how important politics are and how important it is to understand and to participate and to really engage with what's going on. So I was excited to watch what was happening in Georgia, and maybe you haven't been following along, but in Georgia, which is typically a red state or Republican state, there was two very close elections for the U.S. Senate. And those elections back in November were so close that they had to do a special election runoff that was scheduled for yesterday, January 5th. And to everyone's surprise, although it did look like it was going to turn blue, both of those seats now have been declared as won by Democrats. So that means now that the count in the Senate will be 50 Republicans, 50 Democrats. And that's a big deal because what has stopped immigration reform in the past has always been the Senate, because the Senate's been Republican controlled for a long time. So many initiatives laws have been presented in the House of Representatives, but in order to become law, it has to also go through the Senate, and it's been blocked there in the Senate. So it's exciting that we will now have, even though it's 50-50, that's a split. And so then what happens is it goes to the vice president, who will be Kamala Harris, we know, starting January 20th. And so it should be easier to get things passed and into law. So it's hopeful, raises our hopes for immigration reform. Because like I said, there have been attempts in the past to get it through Congress, but Congress has two parts, the House and the Senate. So getting it through the House has been where it's usually hasn't had a problem. But in the Senate, since there was a majority of Republicans, it's usually been blocked there. So we're excited for Georgia. I just want to say, yay, Georgia. Like, who knew that our hopes and our dreams for immigration reform would hang in the balance in Georgia? And way to go for getting out the vote and really showing your values and what you want, what direction you want to send our country. And so thank you, Georgia, for doing that. Estamos platicando hoy sobre Georgia, sobre lo que pasó ayer en las votas, y tal vez ustedes como yo y Antes yo nunca tenía interés en lo político, siempre no entendía lo que pasaba en lo político, y luego cuando estudié en la escuela de leyes, y la verdad en los últimos 4 años he enfocado más en lo político, porque he notado qué tan importante es saber lo que está pasando y cómo afectar lo político en nuestro país. Sabemos que el voto es nuestra voz, es el poder que tenemos. Si es ciudadano americano, puede usar su voto como su voz. Entonces, eso es lo que sucedió en Georgia. En noviembre había elecciones como todos, y había 2 puestos en el Senado, y los puestos, un republicano, un demócrata, a cada quien, los votos eran demasiado cercanos, entonces tenían que tener un voto especial ayer para saber quién iba a ganar. Y resultó que los 2 senadores ganadores fueron demócratas. Eso quiere decir que en el Senado ya va a haber 50 senadores republicanos y 50 demócratas. Y como es igual, 50-50, el vicepresidente a Kamala Harris va a ser quien vota para decidir. Entonces, es decir que ya vamos a tener control en el Senado. Y antes siempre no siempre, pero por mucho tiempo hemos tenido control en la Casa de Representantes, pero necesitamos una ley, tiene que pasar por la Casa de Representantes y también el Senado para llegar al presidente para firmar la ley. Entonces, en el pasado, cuando había intentos de reforma inmigratoria, se ha amparado en el Senado porque había una mayoría de republicanos. Entonces, eso es muy importante. Nos da mucha esperanza de que vaya a tener reforma inmigratoria en el nuevo año, con este presidente Biden. Tenemos muchas esperanzas. Todavía tienen que hacer algo, o sea, no va a ser inmediata. Tienen que presentar una ley y hacer las votas y firmar la ley. Pero tenemos más esperanzas ahora que ya tenemos control en el Senado. So we're talking today about what's happened in Georgia with the recent election. Was just actually announced before I came on here. One of them was too close to call, but now both the Georgia Senate positions have been declared winners for Democrats. So that means that the Senate has now flipped. It's 50-50 technically, but with the tie vote, I guess you would call it, with Kamala Harris, she would break that tie. So we know that it'll be easier, not automatic, but easier to get something like immigration reform through the Senate. So we're excited about that. I wanted to just talk briefly about what are my recommendations. And again, nothing has happened. Biden hasn't even taken office yet. We hope that will still happen. Things that are happening at the Capitol today and around the U.S. Cast some doubt on that and cast some fear about the security of our nation, frankly. But I'm just speaking just with hope that Biden will take office, everything will settle down, and we'll be able to move forward with hope and with reform. So if we do have immigration reform, if and when, I should say, because I'm hopeful that it will be soon, I always recommend that people begin to gather documents to be prepared, because we saw with DACA, for example, when DACA was announced, there's quite a bit of paperwork that you have to prepare in order to be ready to show that you qualify for a program like that. So maybe we'll get DAPA. DAPA was initially presented by Obama as an executive order, and it was crushed by federal courts. But maybe the Congress would be able to pass something that would be for parents of U.S. citizens, children who have been here a certain amount of time and don't have a lengthy criminal history. And so we would encourage people to begin to get proof of the time that they've been here. I always recommend that even when we're not looking at immigration reform, because there are certain types of applications that you can file that require that you show that you've been here at least 10 years. So begin looking for your documents. Hopefully you're not like me, that you throw everything away. Hopefully you're more like my husband, who keeps everything. So begin looking for receipts and bank records and employment records and pay stubs and taxes. Begin organizing all of that and putting it all together so that you can be ready when immigration reform comes to us. Estamos platicando hoy sobre la reforma inmigratoria. Tenemos muchas esperanzas para el nuevo año, que nos va a traer algo bueno para todos los inmigrantes aquí en nuestro país. Entonces, queremos recomendar que todos empiecen a juntar documentación, confirmando cuánto tiempo han estado aquí, desde cuándo. Si han estado aquí 20, 30 años, hay que buscar toda su información, todo su récord, todos sus recibos y sus talones de cheque, cuentas de banco. Empieza a juntar toda su evidencia para poder presentar y calificar rápido, porque sabemos que va a haber muchas personas que quieren calificar para una amnistía o un programa. Entonces, si puede estar listo y presentar toda su información antes de los demás, va a poder recibir su estatus legal antes que todos. Quiero decir de nuevo, todavía no hay reforma inmigratoria, pero tenemos muchas esperanzas ahora que lo que sucedió en Georgia nos da mucho gozo de Georgia, porque ya el Senado tiene igual republicano y demócrata. Entonces, que estén buscando y mirando, preparando y esperando que haya reforma inmigratoria muy pronto. So again, just to repeat, there's nothing announced. I'm not saying that there is now a new immigration reform program, but we're hopeful now that the Senate is 50-50 with the tie-breaking vote for Kamala Harris, that we will be able to see something pass through into law very soon. So begin to prepare for that. Begin gathering documents to show particularly how long you've been here, when you came, any information about exits or whatnot. Also, call us now to schedule an appointment so that we can gather your information and have everything ready and on hand so that when something is announced, we'll be ready to move forward. There might be some studies that need to be done for your case in preparation, so we'd like to get those done for you and have those ready so that you can move forward with the program once it's announced. Queremos recomendar también que nos llame para programar una consulta, para tener su información listo en cuanto ya es tiempo para empezar a solicitar. Tal vez hay estudios necesarios para su caso y queremos prepararlo para que se puede solicitar lo antes posible. So thanks for joining me. I know this was quick, and I don't have any solid news on anything, but I just wanted to rejoice and celebrate what happened in Georgia, and acknowledge that it's a big deal for immigration reform. So please pass the word and be listening. I will be sure to come back with more information in the future. Gracias por estar con nosotros. Vamos a tener más información en el futuro. Solamente ahorita queremos presentar algo breve celebrando lo que sucedió en Georgia. Gracias, Georgia, para su apoyo y para apoyar a los inmigrantes. Y esperamos ver una reforma inmigratoria muy pronto. Escuche aquí para más noticias. Thanks for being with us, and we will talk to you very soon. Take care.